I'm your top anchor, Devin.
And I'm Joni. Welcome to Southside Archer Minutes, where we bring you all things Southside and beyond. We would like to remind our teachers to email any news they have to be announced.
The Video Game Club meets in J126 on Tuesdays after school from 4:30 to 5:30. If you have any questions about the club, see Mr. Adams in room E101.
Now for today's weather. Today, expect a high of 63 with a 100% chance of rain. On Tuesday, there will be a high of 54 and a 100% chance of precipitation.
Sophomores and juniors college fair at Purdue, Fort Wayne on Tuesday, March 10, 2020. Please see Ms. Williams in the guidance office for permission slips.
To lighten the mood, our very own cameraman Martin Diaz caught up with a random student for the random question of the day. Take it away, Martin.
I'm Martin, and I'm here with Austin to ask the random question of the day. The question is, you have a prefrontal cortex at the front of your brain. It controls your decision-making and your emotions. Do you have any triggers that set you off?
Teachers that give work on the last week of school.
I felt that. Back to you.
Nice job, camera crew. When we are angry or anxious, our prefrontal cortex shuts down and it can be difficult to think clearly or rationally. Can you think of a recent time when you felt like this way, or unintentionally spoke or acted before thinking about the consequence? Our video from Mr. Swinford today deals with the frontal cortex and impulse control. Roll that clip, Diana.
Successful people have strong self-regulation skills. They use them every day. The skills help them consciously direct, sustain, and shift their attention when necessary. They help them monitor and manage their thoughts, behavior, and emotions in this complicated world of ours. 3 of the self-regulation skills, known as executive function skills, are cognitive. These are used to monitor and manage attention, thoughts, and behavior. A 4th self-regulation skill is the ability to monitor and manage emotions. These skills are not inborn, but they are teachable, and we depend on them every day, especially when the going gets rough. Just like adults, when students are upset or angry, it's hard for them to use their executive function skills because their strong emotions take over. This can also make it difficult for them to listen, remember rules, and stay focused on learning. So, learning to monitor and manage emotions allows students to recognize their strong feelings and use strategies to calm down. Then, they can use their executive function skills again. And research shows students with strong self-regulation skills have higher academic achievement and are less likely to act in impulsive or aggressive ways, or to withdraw when overwhelmed. They're also more likely to get along well with others and have strong social skills. Students with poor self-regulation skills can have emotional and behavioral problems and academic trouble, and are more likely to be expelled from school, starting as early as preschool. When students learn and practice self-regulation skills, they can build academic achievement, social competence, and positive growth throughout their lives.
Thank you, Mr. Swinford, for that video. And now for today's lunch menu. Zesty orange chicken, Italian sub, super sandwich, pre-plated salad, fruit salad, yogurt and granola, PB&J Uncrustable, lettuce and tomato, condiments, broccoli, crisp veggie dippers, ranch dressing with yogurt, chilled juice, fresh fruit, double chocolate cookie, and milk.
And now for today's bad jokes of the day. Why did the Scarecrow win an award? He was outstanding on the field.
Why do you call a man who can't stand? Who do you call him? Yeah, Neil.
We leave you today with the 3rd installment of the Southside Alumni interviews. Today, Mr. Truesdale interviews Mr. Thomas Shepard, biology teacher in grad of 2012. Have a great week and an amazing Monday, Archer.
Hello and welcome everyone to our third installment of the Southside Alumni 100th Anniversary Interview Special. In our third installment, we are interviewing Mr. Shepard. Sir, class of 2012, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Now, in our series of questions, we're going to start with this one. Where did you live while attending Southside? Did you have any siblings who also went to South?
Well, so the first question, I had two different places that I lived when I was going to Southside. One was all the way out by Northrop, but the other one was right next to Southside, probably about 4 blocks away. So that was a very convenient place to be to come to this school.
I can imagine.
Then, I have a younger sister that was here my senior year of high school. So that was really fun to have her come in and join me in a school that I had already made like a name for myself. That was pretty interesting dynamic that we set up there.
That older brother kind of vibe.
Yeah, she hated it. She hated it because she got called young Shep or little Shep all the time, and or Thomas's little sister. Oh, it made her furious.
So she didn't have her own name. She was
Not
young.
yet.
She was young Shep.
Absolutely.
Interesting. And I think it's really cool is we're going to actually talk to her later. So I'm going to
We'll see if
go
it comes
riff back
up.
and forth
Yeah.
about this. Yeah. So any memories or incidences as you came and went from South? Did you walk? Did you ride with friends? What neighbors did you pass? Obviously, 2012 wasn't that long ago, but do you remember any major differences?
Well, there are some fairly major differences now because now I fortunately walk here. I still actually live just a couple blocks away.
So cool.
But in those mornings, I think it was a bit more difficult because we used to come to school so much earlier. When I first went here, we came at 7:30, and then we came at 8 o'clock in the morning, and not too many people are happy that early in the morning.
No, they're not. No.
So I honestly had a lot of people look at me with just some scowls and mad faces, and I'm sure I did the same, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I had a couple friends that we'd walk every now and again whenever we all got up early enough. Most of the time we were running a little late. So
Yeah.
that opportunity wasn't quite there.
And it's really cool because I think the students really connect with a teacher and a former student who lives in the 07, just like I did, and you still do, so you really represent. That's really cool. What teachers do you remember at South and why?
Oh, I tell you, the two teachers, no, there are three. The three teachers that stand out the most from my time here at Southside are the Dietschys, Marianne and Joe Dietschy, who are Southside. I mean, they just exude green and white. And then the last one is Ron Holmes, a teacher that unfortunately is no longer with us, but not so much in body, but in heart and mind. He is the embodiment of Southside High School. That man, I've not met a single person that was here while he was that didn't know him, or at least know of him.
Yes.
Amazing man. Made you want to work harder.
Yeah.
He was incredible.
Yeah, and I was very fortunate to also remember him, and I had him as well my junior and sophomore year, and so I can definitely identify with that. What clubs or activities were you in?
I was encouraged by my parents to stay as busy as possible because they knew if I didn't, I'd be a couch potato. So I did a whole bunch of different sports. I think at one point or another I was on the football team, the basketball team, the track team, tennis team, and the golf team. I was a member of the speech and debate team, the Key Club, and the National Honor Society.
Please tell me that was not all at the same time.
No.
Okay.
The most I ever did at once was 4 sports in a year, and that was terrible. It was an awful idea.
I can imagine. I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
That's remarkable.
But it gave me the opportunity to meet a bunch of different people.
Yes.
And just stay busy.
And how were your grades during that time?
Here and there. No,
Up
they
and down.
ended up pretty good. My parents would have liked to seen a little bit higher, but they ended up holding at least through that period.
Well, what's the trade-off with the rapport that you had with all the different coaches?
Well, some of them were really okay with it, and some of them were not.
Yeah.
So my speech and debate coach and my basketball coach really did not get along because that season overlaps. And each one of them thought that I needed to be at their practice. And I couldn't tell either of them that they were wrong because I could have stood to improve in both of them.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
Yeah. So obviously, from graduating in 2012, there had to have been a teacher here, that inspired you to come back here. Obviously, you mentioned a couple already, but could you expand upon that?
Absolutely, yeah. So the people I attribute to this job choice are Joe and Marianne Dietschy, and I don't think that I could have found a more helpful set of people my senior year, because I had a bunch of friends that were older than me, so they all graduated in advance, and I kind of was a little upset about that. And my senior year kind of took a dive because of that. And the people that I would go to almost every single day after school, I would say 4 out of the 5 days, I would spend no less than an hour with one of those two individuals. And sometimes it was working on homework, and sometimes it was on an assignment that I really didn't get. But sometimes it was just to sit there and talk and, you know, look for advice. And it was amazing to have that sort of care come from a teacher who didn't have to.
Yeah.
You know, and they did. They made all the difference that year.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd be here, you know, the person that I am today without having those two kind of in my ear and in my corner.
So they were not only there academically, but emotionally.
Oh, I would say more so emotionally.
Yeah. Just remarkable. Now, it's been 8 years since you graduated. I can't believe it's already 2020.
Oh my gosh.
And what has your career path been since you graduated?
So I initially thought that I was going to become a veterinarian, and then after a year of college, I decided that was just a bunch of hooey. And then since that day, I haven't looked back from deciding to be a teacher. So I had the pleasure of doing my student teaching down in Anderson through Ball State, and ever since then, I've been at Southside. They welcomed me back with open arms. It was great.
Yeah, it's a wonderful place to teach.
It really is. And it's odd. I expected to have a lot more teachers from my time still here. My teacher turnover is, you know, it is what it is.
Yes.
But it's been really cool to have some of those people there to guide me in a different part of my life.
And you get to meet new people.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like yourself.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Well, that does conclude the majority of our questions. Do you have anything else to add, sir?
No, I suppose if I had one thing, I love this place. You know, it always feels like home. I come in and I know everybody. I get to talk to everybody, even the students and especially the staff. I have a really hard time with my plan period because I just like to go around and see how everybody's doing.
Yeah. I've heard that frequently from many people.
But I do love this place, and I love the people that work here.
Well, Mr. Shepard, class of 2012, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Have a wonderful day, sir.
Thank you.